What's up? What's up, Oso? What's up, Nick? Hey, if the trolls come in, don't just block them, hit report and go through that process. That's a lot more effective. Um, yeah, Nick asked me if I would continue on Harley's stream, and I hadn't done a stream in a couple of weeks now, so I thought I would do a quick one just to continue what he was saying. Probably sometime between 6 and 7 Eastern tomorrow, we're going to do a joint live stream. I think we're doing it on my channel. Uh, I think that's what we decided anyway. It might be on his channel, but I think we'll just do it on mine. What's up, Rusted? What's up, Dave? Oh, also, I thought of that when I saw you in there earlier, or I saw you yesterday or something, and I thought, man, I owe him a phone call. I'm sorry. I will call you. Are you working tomorrow? What would be a good time to call you if I call you tomorrow? I suppose I could call you later tonight after the stream. I just text me what your schedule is. You don't have to go into it in the chat. Just send me a text. What's up, Junkie? What's up, Knox? So yeah, that's about it. I'm just here to hang out. I suppose I could do a giveaway. Well, I'll put it to you this way. Also, there's a lot to say, and I'm not really sure what we had discussed, but it's uh, yeah, I'd rather just tell you over the phone. Quite honestly, I know everything that's going on. I know all. I see all. I'm one with this YouTube universe. I'm right now. I'm playing Yoda to their young Anakin. So believe me, I've got it pretty well in hand. Junkie, tomorrow Harley, Adam, and I are doing a live stream with Maymac pre-fight predictions. We were going to do one afterward, but he's Adam is 3 hours ahead of me, so I thought if the fight doesn't start till 9 o'clock, when does it start? It would have been late for him, and I think he has to work Sunday, so I didn't want to do that to him. So we're going to do a pre-fight live stream. He and I are. We're going to give our pre-fight predictions. We're going to have some hot takes, and then we're going to watch the fight. Not on the live stream, we're not. But then afterward, I might go live again afterwards to chat about it. What's up, Scott? Um, he's not in here, but somebody asked if we could talk about something. I'll see if he shows up, and if he shows up, we'll bring up his subject because I wasn't really intending on this being lengthy, but I very very rarely intend on these being lengthy, and sometimes they run over 2 hours. Oh, so I just got. By the way, you got that two ratchet set from um, Gear Wrench. I got the 120 XP Comfort Grip version of that. The flex head, the quarter inch and 3/8 set. Knox, who is what? Uh, let me put it to you this way. Roll call. What's up, Juan? Yeah, that's the thing also. I don't use them enough for them to get nasty. And if I got some of that Zep citrus degreaser from Home Depot, and that does a pretty good job. It won't mess up the comfort grip. The thing about the comfort grip on those is like the back, where if you're holding it where your index finger would wrap around it, it's got like a kind of a groove there. It actually is really comfortable. Yeah, we got more people checking in, but we got a couple watching right now. Yeah, I don't know if it's Big Orange or not. That's the thing. It's just a spray bottle. It's not an aerosol. I know Zep makes a bunch of different products, but this one's just Zep citrus degreaser at Home Depot for like $3.29. Also, I don't see any reason that result would change. I would think that would be odd. And they weren't that close. That's the thing. What was the Harbor Freight lasted to what, like 65 foot-pounds, and the gear inch was 75. So that is a pretty good difference. What's up, Cisco? Yeah. Okay, so 9 foot-pounds difference in braking, but at that low of a number, that represents what percentage? That's about a 12 or 13% difference, something like that. So what are you going to do? I guess that's my question with the ones you broke. Are you going to warranty both of them out, the gear inch and the Harbor Freight? Because that was one of the things that a couple of years ago people got really bent out of shape at Roman Automotive for, was that he was just constantly breaking stuff and warrantying it out. He would break it in his test videos. Here's a conspiracy for you. I've heard from reliable sources that Roman Automotive and Bob Kenzie are the same person. Think about that. Mind blown. Yeah, okay. Are there any stores around Portland also that would have those particular ratchets? Yeah. I talked with Bob. What I talked with Bob a couple days already on the phone this week, and it's funny because when you're standing behind a camera and talking, the microphone pickup is not that great, so it does change the modulation of your voice somewhat. But Bob has a very distinct voice, and even when you talk to him on the phone, that's pretty much what you sound like, what he sounds like. See the birth certificates, the documents. It's blood type samples. Yeah, it's funny because Bob, when I first heard Bob's videos, I thought, okay, so this dude's like he sounds older than he is. He's actually a couple of years younger than me. I'm not going to give all Bob's information out there, but Bob's a couple of years younger than I am. What's up, Ken? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory, right? It's something that's going to be hard to prove, but also that's racial. Why you got to be racial? Can I just say that this is probably my favorite part of these streams is when everybody comes in and everybody says hi to each other, because when you scroll back through it, the highs take up about 2/3 of the chat. I've always kind of appreciated that. Oh, so are you okay? So not to blow up the spot here, but like that that Harbor Freight 3/8, do you still have that, or did you take it back, or did you send it to Eric O? I don't know if you guys have seen, but Eric O has been using that Harbor Freight 3/8 cordless, and he says he actually likes it okay, which is, I don't know, a little bit bizarre. But he said he's actually thinking about getting the 1/2 inch cordless just to try it out. Yeah, you know, one that's kind of fallen by the wayside is later Minions. See you, Minions. Nobody does that anymore. By the way, has anybody heard from Minions lately? I guess I could text him. I think he already moved. I think that was last week. Might have been 2 weeks ago now. Oh, so you do have the 1/2 inch. The I'm talking the cordless also. Did you do a video with the 1/2 inch yet, or have you released the video? Yeah, Dave, do that. Tell him to check in. Tell him even if he makes a 2 3 minute update video. I mean, that's something. You don't have to make a whole hour-long expose of it. Just let us know how you're doing. Oh, the big dog DeWalt. Okay, so the new Milwaukee 1,400 pounds breakaway torque, and it's, you know how they just released the mid length a couple months ago. Well, the new 1,400 is between the size of the other 1,200 pound, the what 2763 or whatever it is. It's not as small as the mid length, but it's not as big as the last big dog gun. So they shrunk it and they added 200 pounds of breakaway torque, two or 300. I forget if the old one was 1,100 or 1,200. That's the thing, Knox. I'm not in the Facebook chat. I don't get all the latest scuttlebutt. What's up, Steve? 1,200 was the old one. Okay. Well, whatever the case, the new one's 1,400, and it's now between the size of the old 2762 or 63 and the new mid torque. So that's a that's a spicy meatball. Oh, what's up? Speak of him, and he shall appear. Minions. We were just talking about you. I was just asking if anybody had heard. Everything go out okay? Your move go all right and all that? Yeah, I know, Knox. There are plenty of documents in there. It's alive. What's the deal, minions? Is it the taxi thing? Is that what's going down? What are your guys? I'll throw this out there because a couple of you weighed in on it a little bit earlier. But what are your guys' predictions? Who's going to win? How are they going to win? Is the pay per view going to break 5 million buys? What's the final number going to be on the gate? I think Maypac did just over a $72 million gate, live gate, and Leonard Ellerby said a week or two ago that Maymac was already over 60 million. So, what are the numbers? What are the documents on that? What do you think? Give me your predictions, your thoughts, your fears. If you want to throw in some gratuitous flattery in there for me, that's fine. Tell us how life's going for you. Really, this is about you. I'm here for you. This is a public service on my part. Oh, Nick told you. Okay. Ooh. Wow. Do tell, minions. You said you were lied to. So Junkie says 3.5 to 4 million pay-per-view buys. It'll go in the 6th round. McGregor wins by knockout. So, by way of reference, there's various reports, but Maypac did, I think, around 4.6 million pay-per-view buys, and that's the highest of all time. Second place would be, I believe, Mayweather De La Hoya, and I think that did 2.6 million. And then third place was uh, Mayweather. Why do I always draw a blank? Canelo. I was thinking, what's the Spanish word for red or ginger? Canelo Alvarez. I think that did 2.2 or 2.3. But here's the thing about Mayweather. What did his last fight do? That's the real question. Who did he even fight? You guys remember? I bet very few people in here who will remember what Mayweather's last fight was. That's because it did 300,000 buys. Yeah, Ken, you're right. They did both win already. Juan, why are you going for McGregor? I think the popular answer is a lot of people are rooting for McGregor because Mayweather's undefeated and he's kind of ducked people and been selective about who he fights and when his whole career, which for his part, I mean, that's a smart strategy. Why wouldn't he do that? That's smart. But that's why a lot of people tune in his fights just to see if he's going to lose. Yeah. G-Bone 1 got it. Andre Berto. Okay, minions. Harley, Adam, and I are going live probably sometime between 3 and 4 Pacific, and we're going to do our pre-fight live stream. So if you go live, minions, do it before that. Well, also that's the thing about this. This is, it is a boxing match, but really it's just a spectacle. See you, minions. I wish Jeff Kennedy was here right now. It's just not the same. What time is it? He should be off work. What's his excuse? He got off work like half an hour ago or an hour ago. Yeah, nobody can stand Mayweather. That's the thing. He's a dirtbag as a human being, but I mean, the guy's without a doubt a great fighter. Something about the Oh, what have I done the last couple of weeks? Oh, last Tuesday I did the timing belt on my Camry. Yeah, I know he has those, so I need to text him. Hey, Jeff has been MIA. That took me it took me about 4.5 hours. And I don't know what the book time is. Looking at what it cost to repair, I'm guessing the book time on that's like around 3.5 hours. So I almost achieved book time. But I did it without a lift, and that me getting down and getting back up and going about it that way is not very time efficient. So I think I did pretty well. Yeah, the Kansas City Royals. Knox, you don't watch the Chiefs? I think they played the Seahawks tonight. I haven't even looked at the score. Dave, he says, did they say what the payout was? I should look up my email from Harley. It all depends on what the pay-per-view buys are, but the thing that's been widely speculated was that it's a 60-40 split, and with the 60% going to Mayweather, and the UFC gets a certain portion of what McGregor is making. That's their agreement with him. I don't think that this one will be a rigged fight. I'll tell you that. I think McGregor's going to come right out and push the pace and go for it. The thing is with Floyd, when he's shown weakness, it's when people actually fight him. Look at, I told Sicker this a couple months ago, and we were talking on here about this. If you go back and you watch the first Maidana fight, which Floyd won a majority decision on that. So one of the judges had it scored 114-114. I live scored that fight, and that was the score I came up with. Obviously I'm not a boxing judge. I've been a boxing fan for most of my life, but that's how I live scored it. I had it 6 rounds apiece, all 10-9 rounds one way or the other. So it was 114-114. Well, that judge, it was a lady, and that was like the last fight she judged in Nevada, because the other 2 judges had it for Mayweather. Well, Maidana came in and just made it a brawl. That's what McGregor has to do. He has to follow that blueprint. But this myth that Mayweather's never been hurt, it's just out. It's a myth. What's up, Frankie M? I heard, Junkie, numbers for McGregor all the way up to 140 million, depending on if they. McGregor said in an interview a couple of weeks ago that if the fight broke the pay-per-view record, so if it did more than 4.6 million buys, that he would make nine figures, more than $100 million, that he would make that. So I heard figures they based it off of like 5 million buys, and I think Kevin Aioli of Yahoo Sports did a good breakdown on this. There were figures all the way up to 140 million. The real question is, how much of a chunk is the UFC getting? No, the winner doesn't get more. I know in MMA, it's the UFC likes to split purses, so much to win, so much to show, so much to win. So you could be like on a 50 and 50 contract. So in theory, the winner could get more based on what their win show and win money was. But in this, it's just a straight 60-40 split. At least that's most of the speculation that I've seen. And they're never going to release the actual numbers, but I think the stuff I've seen is pretty good ballpark. Yeah, he has been hurt, G-Bone. He got hurt by he got hurt bad against Mosley. He got hurt against Victor Ortiz before Victor Ortiz got a buck with him and started and headbutted him. Victor Ortiz was winning the fight up to that point. So he got hurt both against both of those guys. In the first Maidana fight, I don't think he was hurt bad, but he was, at one point, he was definitely losing that fight. He had to come back to win that. Like I said, I scored that fight a draw. Mosley, who else? Oh, Zab Judah. Zab Judah hurt him. I haven't talked with Sick. I saw him. I emailed him last week, and he said he was doing okay. He was just really, really busy. Yeah, I expect it to be McGregor or I don't want to give too much of a tip off as to what I'm going to say tomorrow in the stream with Harley, because I think he and I agree on most of the major points, but on some of the minor ones we kind of disagree strongly, and that's going to make for kind of an interesting stream, I think. But like I said in one of the streams, I think actually I said this in Adam's stream, why was it that Mayweather requested to move from 10-ounce gloves to 8-ounce gloves? Usually once you hit that 147 mark, it's 147 and up is 10-ounce gloves. So if Mayweather's the one that wanted it, there is some strategy there. Yeah, but if he wins, though, Junkie, he's not going to come back to the UFC and fight for $8 million. They already are saying it. Dana's already changed his mind about that publicly and admitting, oh, if he wins, they said, well, he's asked for an ownership stake in the UFC, and Dana flat out said, well, look, if he wins, anything's possible. But the bottom line is, this has raised McGregor's profile so much, he's going to restructure his contract even if he does come back to the UFC. Say he loses. Most people think he's going to lose. Is he all of a sudden not worth 9 figures anymore? He's one of the top two pay-per-view stars in combative sports. It's him and Mayweather, and Mayweather has said unequivocally, nope, no matter what, this is my last fight. This is it. And he's laid all the groundwork for it being his last fight. It's the last fight where he's going to make big money. The only way he could make money like this again, I don't think he could make money like this if he tried to fight Pacquiao again. McGregor's the only big payday for him, and he knew it. Like I said, 300,000 pay-per-view buys in his last fight against Berto. After the Maypac fight, nobody wanted to see him fight anymore. He did 4.6 million buys, and about 4.4 million of those people were totally disappointed that they dropped $100 on it. And Ken says if McGregor can't knock him out in the first round, I think Mayweather will have a better chance of winning. That conventional wisdom says if McGregor wants to win, he's going to have to finish him, because there's no way that the judges are going to give him a decision over Floyd. It just won't happen. It's essentially like a fixed fight in that regard. Yeah, one thing Mayweather does well is run away. That's true, Cisco. I mean, he's a defensive fighter. He's a defensive fighter. Do you think age will play a big role in the fight? One thing a lot of people who don't follow it closely don't give Floyd credit for. Floyd Mayweather is an incredibly hard worker when it comes to training. The guy's training habits are legendary, and he does like to kind of get out there and on the club scene and whatnot. But I've heard interviews with people saying they've seen him in clubs and never seen him drink, not once. So, and then he'll be out at 3 a.m. running 10 miles around Vegas. I was listening to something today. He said that he was in there. He was in Mayweather's gym back in the day. Went in there, did some training. Was in there like doing sparring for 45 minutes. It said that Floyd Mayweather. This was like 15, 20 years ago. They said that Floyd Mayweather was over in the corner jumping rope, and he skipped rope the entire time, never stopped. So 45 minutes straight jumping rope. And he was doing it before they came in, and he was doing it when they left. So, yeah, if the guy's 40 years old, it is 40 and a half as opposed to 29. He is bigger, he is stronger, he is younger. He's not as fast. He's not a boxer. They're coming in. McGregor's going to have to come in. Again, I'm kind of going back on what I said, but McGregor's basically, he's got to come in and fight as a martial artist. He can't try to fight Floyd as a boxer. That's cool. Frankie M says he met Mayweather at the Home Depot. What was he up to? Yo, what's up, Sick? Frankie was just asking about you. So, Sick, we're doing a live stream. Harley, Adam, and I are doing a live stream tomorrow pre-fight. We're just going to make some predictions and whatnot, and I'm kind of setting the table a little bit for that live right now, but we're going to do that probably start sometime around 3 or 4 Pacific time. Harley Adam has some hot takes. I have some hot takes. Juan, I watched your what was your latest video? Was it an unboxing? I saw your latest video. I know that. Yeah, Sick. Just give us an update, man. Give us an update. How's everything going? Everybody's been wondering about you, wondering about your family, making sure everything's okay. Yeah, well, I'll drop another hint here to you guys. Did anybody see the stuff that Paulie Malignaggi said about training with McGregor? I mean, obviously there was the smack talk back and forth, but like as far as there was something said that was kind of a technical detail that if you watch UFC's Embedded series, Floyd kind of makes reference to it. And when you put that together with the fact that Floyd asked to go from 10-ounce gloves down to 8-ounce gloves, you can there's an obvious strategy to read into it there. Oh, it's a Matt G unboxing. Okay. When did you release it? I might not have seen it. I think I got the bell clicked on you, though. Too bad Gaston's not here. I was going to tell him I got a Lang extended battery terminal wrench. I had asked him about that a couple of weeks ago, or I was asking somebody in Top Wolf stream about it. Why would you need that? Gaston, it seemed like you kind of got a little bit bent out of shape that I would even ask why you would need that. But the general consensus from everybody was, well, it's something more that you could buy. Why not buy it? So I thought, oh, okay. And then I went and bought one. That's true, Junkie. The 8-ounce glove things to sell more tickets. That was at a point where there were rumors that the ticket sales were lagging. It was right around the same time. But Leonard Eller, like I said earlier, Leonard Ellerby came right out at that same time and said that they were already over 60 million. So at the gate, live gate. So yeah, G-Bone, what did you end up going with? I think you said the other day you were looking at a 68 Epic. I don't know. If any of you guys are MMA guys, you might be familiar with Front Row Brian. He's at Front Row Brian on Twitter. And he said the UFC 194, he was in Vegas and there was an Irish guy there at a bar, and he asked the Irish guy, how much does this trip cost you? And the guy said, I've already spent $3,000 since I got here, and that was only on Coke. So the point was, he said, the Irish get there and they like to party. I don't know if there's that many rich people in Ireland, but I don't know what kind of walk-up sales they could do with that. Well, Juan says, how does the glove size determine how many tickets are sold? The point is, there was talk in the pre-fight press tour, like, oh, we're going to do it in 10-ounce gloves, and McGregor saying there's no way you would do it in 4-ounce gloves. So MMA, they use 4-ounce gloves. Boxing, they determine the size of the glove based on the weight class. As the weight class moves up, the glove size moves up, because the implication is that the more power guys are going to be heavier, they're going to weigh more, they're going to have more power. So you need to have a thicker glove to try to combat that. The dirty secret that nobody talks about very often is that boxing gloves are just there. It protects your hands more than it protects your opponent. What combination wrenches, G-Bone? You get the Flank Drive Plus. So I guess, sorry to want to close that loop. The there was speculation that Floyd was doing that as a stunt to be like, well, I'll fight you in whatever glove size, we could do it MMA. He says a lot of stupid stuff like, well, we don't have to, we could do MMA rules. And everybody knows that there's no way he would ever come and do an MMA fight. That would last. The odds on that lasting, it's almost a foregone conclusion that would last way less time than a boxing match would last the other way. We saw that years ago with James Toney and Randy Couture. And I know these are different fighters, but still, in an MMA fight, you just got the MMA guys got way more options. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that, Ken. I think some of it was a publicity stunt, maybe to get lagging ticket sales going. Or their big game in the run up to the fight is just to keep it as part of the national conversation. So if their press was lagging a little bit, they have to think of new angles, new things to bring up. But Floyd, he said a lot of stuff like, oh, I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to come after him. I'd be shocked if Floyd did any of that. If he did any of it, I'd be shocked. Floyd's never done that. That's not who Floyd is. G-Bone, how much did those run you? What set you got the Flank Drive Plus, but full metric and SAE, or what kind of price are we talking about? Did you get the student discount? I don't think it's just hype though, Juan. I really don't. That's not what he normally fights in though, Junkie. Floyd's normally doing it in 10-ounce gloves. That's the thing. They had to get a special exception from the Nevada Athletic Commission in order to do this. And then the Nevada Athletic Commission claimed, well, it has nothing to do with money. The bottom line is Floyd always fights in Vegas and he always gets what he wants. So usually if you're fighting at 147 pounds and above, which Floyd has for years, you would use 10-ounce gloves. So why would Floyd want a lighter glove? Think about that. And then think about the ways that McGregor has gotten in trouble. He hasn't lost. Diaz was his only MMA loss in the last several years. I know he lost twice in Ireland, but and then put that together with what Paulie Malignaggi says, there's a kind of an obvious direction you could go with that for why he would want the gloves made smaller. Yeah, that's not bad at all, G-Bone. Oh, okay. You're just filling out your sets. Are you Googling that, Junkie? You know what? So I'm wrong. 147 isn't the cutoff. It's 147 and below is 8-ounce gloves. So if you go over 147, it is 10-ounce. Mayweather wore 10-ounce gloves for his 3 154 title fights. Okay, so strike what I just said. That could be part of it, but I don't really think that's it. I would think Floyd would want bigger gloves because of his defensive style and the stack that he builds to complement that shoulder roll, he would want a bigger glove to block. But I just, you got to look at the ways that McGregor's been hurt in fights and put that together with what Paulie Malignaggi said. And I'm not trying to spill the beans, but I'll answer all those questions tomorrow. Oh man, we just lost a bunch of people. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Yeah, Floyd's gotten to 49-0 doing it his way. I don't think, no matter what he says, I don't think that he's going to just on the turn of a dime do things differently. I just don't see that. Junkie, you're not far off of what I'm thinking, but wrong body, wrong part of the body. Yeah, no Mexican plugs. Well, he did fight. What was his fight against? I'll look this up. He has this fight's at 154 pounds. He fought Canelo at 154 or 152. Oh, okay. Well, it's a lot stronger case. I thought he had stepped up after Canelo, and he'd fought a couple of fights at 154 or 152. This fight's at 152, or I'm sorry, 154. McGregor weighed in at 153. Floyd weighed in at I think 149. McGregor at fight time. Here's something to ask. At fight time, what do you think McGregor's going to weigh? I don't think McGregor has a weak chin at all. What's up? What's up, Topper? Junkie, I'm not sure what you meant with that lengthier comment. I don't really think would have any McGregor in the Diaz fight has anything to do with why they wanted 8-ounce gloves, and Diaz was 170 pounds. McGregor's never thought of that. I'm not sure what you're saying. Right. Okay. Well, so with your last comment, the 2-line comment, Junkie, you know exactly where I'm going tomorrow when I do the live stream. That's what I'm saying. McGregor had a good fight in 2008. What do you mean, G-Bone? See you, Dave. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Go, Junkie, go rewatch that first Diaz McGregor fight. It's not. I know how the fight ended. I get that he choked him out. I get it was he locked in a rear naked choke. But what did Diaz said some stuff after that fight, like, hey, here was the turning point of the fight. He said exactly what he did, and he said at that point I knew I was going to win, and it was before anybody else noticed it. And then look at what Paul and Malignaggi said about what Connor's weakness is. McGregor fought Bailey in 2008. I'm not sure who Bailey is. I know one of his losses is to Joe Duffy. Irish Joe Duffy. I'm not sure what your point is, G-Bone. I'm looking at his record, but I'm not really sure what you're trying to tell me here. Um, that was an MMA fight, though, G-Bone. That you're not saying it wasn't an MMA fight, are you? You said McGregor had a good fight in 2008. He fought Bailey in 2008. Stephen Bailey, Christmas match, 122 round time. It was pretty good one overall. Oh, maybe you're just saying that was one of his early stoppages or something. Yeah. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if that plays a role, though. Because Floyd's just got more ways to win, obviously. Connor's got the puncher's chance, but not much more of a chance than that. Conventional wisdom says that if he is going to beat him, he's probably going to have to do it inside of the first 4 rounds. But one thing about McGregor is I think he's going to come in, he's going to use bully tactics, he's going to try to trap him in corners, and he's going to be physical and more with a wrestling type of a style. And that's how he's going to have to do it. He's actually going to have to come out and fight and go for a finish. Yeah, it depends on the odds. I don't know. I'm not much of a bettor. I know this. I know that it's closed. I think now it's down to close to 3-1. Tremendous money has come in on McGregor. I know that for the odds to go from where they started to where they're at now. What was it? I think at one point they said it was better odds for McGregor than it had been for Canelo. Yeah, so uh, against Diaz, the first fight, that both those fights were at 170 pounds. I think McGregor weighed in both times at around 167 or 168. I've heard from reliable sources that he walks around somewhere at around 175 pounds. That's his walking around weight, 175, 176, right in there. So I don't know if he would hydrate back up to that, but he had a 153 today, and he didn't look that drawn out. So I wouldn't be surprised if he weighs in at close to 170 at fight time. Floyd's going to be 149. But you got to look. You got to wonder what the ref's going to let him get away with too. That's definitely going to come into play. Is he going to let McGregor kind of wrestle a little bit, or what? So anyway, Will K, I don't know who to tell you to put your money on, but oh, Frankie M kind of gets to it. Who do you want? Who do you want to win the fight? I'd like to see McGregor win. Will K says $1,000 at 6 on McGregor to win head to head. $25 at 41 made by decision. 25 at 51 Mac to win in round 3 to 4. Okay, so some little. Yeah, that's the thing. I've never really had a problem with Floyd's fight style. If people like to see a brawl, they're going to hate watching him fight. But people that tuned in and watched him fight Pacquiao and came away disappointed, I thought this needs to be you got to have managed expectations when you watch Mayweather fight, because he's not going to come in and fight. He's going to go in and box. That's what he's always done. I didn't see Gary D in here tonight. He asked me to talk about reptilians. But I don't really want to talk about it if he's not in the stream. Reptilians. Not reptiles, reptilians. Joe and Gavin Maloof each bet $440,000. And I forget what the odds were. They bet that on Floyd. But I think it was a total of 880,000 to win like $1 million total, something like that. Top Wolf is he's trying really hard to get in Junkie's toolbox. Well, Will, you know more about how betting goes than I do because I've never been a bettor. But I mean, I just think if McGregor's going to win, he's going to have to do it in the first 4 rounds because there's no way he's going to get a decision. I like your thinking, Top Wolf. Top Wolf, have you told anybody else about your purchase today? Did you tell Junkie? So, Will, I haven't seen you before. I'm guessing maybe you found me because of the hashtag or something. Mostly, you're asked what's in Junkie's toolbox. You got to go to the Snap on Junkie's page and look at his toolbox tools. He's got a lot of really nice high-end Snap-on tools. So most of us in here are kind of like tool and automotive people. Some of us are DIYers, some professional. But that's what Top Wolf's making reference to. His Junkie's got a lot of nice tools that are pretty expensive. So he's teasing him about it. Ken, I thought I saw that same thing, and especially today at the weigh-ins, that was when Mayweather he did look a little bit off. He did. Not physically, but mentally. He's not used to somebody matching him, and McGregor did well to match him and exceed him in all these press things. All the controversy aside, Mayweather's just not used to that. He's not used to somebody being up to the mental and verbal challenge, and McGregor definitely is. It's funny. Junkie says it's a professional hack. That's funny, Junkie. He did that today in the pose down the other day for their last press conference. He said that about it being Bruce Lee. And he went into his Bruce Lee pose, McGregor did. And people were laughing. But the thing is, McGregor's team and McGregor, they've got it right. They didn't train to go in and box Floyd. They didn't train to go in there and fight as boxers. They went in there to train and fight as an MMA fighter. So yeah, he can't do kicks, he can't do elbows and knees, and he can't do grappling and jiu-jitsu and whatnot, but he's not going to try to become a boxer over the course of 13 weeks. You're not going to do that. You're not going to make that much of a deficit against Floyd Mayweather, even a 40-year-old Floyd Mayweather. So he's going in there to fight him. He's got to fall. I'm telling you, watch that first Maidana fight with Floyd. That's the blueprint he's got to do. He's got to go in there and just be wild and unorthodox and physical and do everything Floyd doesn't want him to do. Yeah, Will, sub to me. I just subbed to you too. It looks like maybe you do some automotive stuff yourself, Will. Will, how did you find the stream? Let me ask you that. If you're still here. Also, that's probably the most productive thing you've done at work tonight. Well, that's what he's saying, Junkie. He says he'll have him out. McGregor's prediction, Mystic Mac, he's predicting he'll have him out. He'll knock him out in the first round. He'll put a pace on him that Floyd's not able to keep with. So you fixed the faucet while you were sitting on the pot? That is productive. Yeah, G-Bone, when's your toolbox going to get there? And I don't know if you answered this or not, but did you get a better deal going through the website? Did you get like the student discount or anything like that? Junkie, that's not a bad thing. Probably need a day off, man. Good grief. I've got most of next week off. So I might do a live stream next week too. Oh, okay. Your machine shop. Huh, okay. Yeah, let's do that, Junkie. Text me. We'll figure it out. Because I'm gonna be down in Portland about half of next week. I think I'm heading down there Wednesday morning. I think I'll probably be there for several days. I'll bring my laptop with me. I think I'm gonna cut this off though. So I'm getting tired. You guys got any last thoughts? Yeah, G-Bone. I've been subbed to G-Bone for a while. That's the thing. I don't know if I'm subbed to like 650 or 700 people, so I know as soon as I see somebody new pop up, like in the chats or whatever, I usually sub to them even if they don't have content. What's an industrial account? I got to know that. What do you use when you're live streaming when you have a guest? I just use Google Hangouts. I know some of you guys are Apple guys, and Junkie uses Apple stuff, but I think he got Hangouts for Apple. So I I just call him in my Hangouts window because that's what I have as my default streaming encoder is Google Hangouts. Idiots who can't even pump their own gas. Well, you're going to New Jersey, Knox. I'm going to Oregon, where you don't pump your gas. This is the two states in the United States that they still have to pump it for you. Oh, okay. Frankie, if you want to email me about it at some point in the next week, I will walk you through that process if you want me to. I can't do it tonight, but I can do it some point, the end of next week or something like that, when you have some free time. All right, you guys. Win if you can, lose if you must, but no matter what, always cheat.